Welcome to episode 18 of the Poker Face podcast, the Sleazy Georgian.
In this week's episode, we are introduced to a team of Philadelphia con artists operating a recurring scam on susceptible members of the public. When Charlie is recruited into their number, she susses out a questionable dynamic. But will she be turned off? Or will the lure of one big score turn her head?
Morning beer makes a day a little less clear.
Good evening, Ian. How are you? Or just good morning.
Well, this beer tells me it's morning.
Are you a big morning drinker?
Not unless I'm at the airport.
All right.
They reference that in this episode.
Do they?
There's no rules at the airport.
Do they say airport? No, they say hotel bar.
They say the hotel bar in the morning is like an airport. There's no rules.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a big fan. We went from the heist genre to the con.
Yes.
Related, very much, yes. You know, The Sting is one of my favourite movies of all time. I do like a
good con.
Yeah.
We're a wee bit further off format again than we were last week, but 2 good episodes.
Yeah, the structure has shifted slightly. And
this time, the change in structure is a twist, so we'll get to that as we go through.
Talking about Georgians.
Yes.
They're obviously the country, and then it's made clear that it's not the state, but it could be of the Regency period, or King George, or Prince George. Yes. You know, Blackadder fans.
They will remember. Yeah. There's a good podcast about that.
It's not good.
No, it's
There's
not.
There's a podcast about it.
It's one of our worst pieces of work, I would say.
It's certainly down there.
Down with the Fawlty Towers podcast.
Comedy's not our thing.
Well, it's just hard to do this format for comedy. We've talked about this before.
We're not funny.
Well, yeah, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
If you want to discuss how not funny we are, you can get hold of us on social media, where we are at Columbo Podcast on Instagram, X, Blue Sky and Facebook. You can find show notes for this and all the other episodes at columbopodcast.com, and each and every episode is available 1 week earlier than it comes out on the podcast feed if you visit our YouTube channel, Columbo Podcast Productions, where we would encourage you to subscribe and click that wee notifications icon to learn about each new episode as soon as it appears.
That's a struggling, isn't it?
One breath.
Stephen, now on, let's wrap that. I don't need that anymore. People get annoyed by like, subscribe and smash like. Oh, that's
well, why aren't they doing it?
They're not doing it.
Well, if they started doing it, I'd stop saying it.
Okay, well, you know what you've got to do, guys.
There you go.
We're all about the podcast. YouTube's I mean, obviously we do appreciate everyone who does listen, or the handful of people who do listen on YouTube, but
we make up to $2 a month on YouTube.
You finished?
I am.
Let's crack on.
Did you enjoy the opening shot?
What was that again?
The top-down view of the pool table.
Yeah, balls are being knocked around and...
Not very well.
No, it's by an awful pool player.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't know how to play pool.
Indeed.
As we hear Bobby Gentry sing about the how seasons come and seasons go. I think that's signifying, I suppose, the passing of time within the show.
Could be.
And Charlie's position herself. Things are moving on, aren't they?
We should know, we're not aware at this stage, but the pool hall is where the gang of con artists gather.
The soundtrack continues as we cut to a middle-aged woman striding down a city street and enter a hotel bar. Again, I keep saying this. This is another person who I'm only really aware of from quite a few years ago. Okay. And they've changed quite dramatically.
I saw her in things recently. We can get to that when we get to the trivia section.
Okay. Anyway.
She orders a coffee and we see a man in the same place wearing sunglasses indoors.
That should have been a red flag straight away.
That's the reddest of flags. I don't think there's ever been a good reason for that.
Nope. He is reading, eating some breakfast, and he's drinking at a table, and she takes a seat at the table beside his.
She tries to engage with him and asks him about his breakfast.
Yeah, after placing her bag on the floor beside herself, he gives quite a short answer that suggests that he doesn't want to talk before a man enters and places a stuffed envelope into his bag.
Yes, and the woman who we come to learn is called Reggie shouts over the bar staff because she has a complaint.
What's that?
The sugar at her table is not sugar, it's stevia and other artificial substances.
She wants to know if the bar woman can go and get her the real deal.
She cannot. However, the man at the next table says he has a secret stash.
Yeah, he brings his own Demerara with him.
Yes, it's got that sort of umami thing going, he says.
Yes. This breaks the ice. Now, sorry, we should say that this other guy has walked in, placed a stuffed envelope into the shade-wearing gentleman's bag,
Yes.
which contains other similar envelopes.
Apparently.
Doesn't say anything and then walks away. So it's obviously something intriguing here.
Yes. The guy introduces himself to Reggie as Alec, and they begin to talk.
There's a bit of small talk, a few jokes, and he claims that drinking breakfast is not his thing, but that he's simply being a little crazy.
Yes, and I can tell from my notes that I gave you duff information earlier on. He does not mention airports. He
Good.
says that hotel bars are like international waters where there are no rules.
That's why I pulled you up. I thought I
You
could be
didn't
wrong.
fully remember, did you?
I didn't know, but
Yeah.
as you know, I'm not usually wrong.
That's fine. You can edit it so I got it right in the first place.
I'll do that. We'll scrub this whole thing. Trust me, and you can rely on me. I will not make you look stupid here.
That's good. So Reggie orders a Bloody Mary, and another man comes in to put an envelope in the satchel.
She can't help but ask, what's going on here? However, he unconvincingly tells her that the packages are simply work papers, but accepts her request to join him.
Yes, he tells her he was in luxury travel and now, having got out of that, wants a piece of the life for himself and offers bespoke services to high-end individuals.
Yes, he does not confirm or deny that it's illegal or shady when she asks. Instead, he wants to know about her and why she is in this hotel bar at 8:30.
Well, I'm here for work too. I work for a nonprofit organization for children. We actually provide free medical care to orphans. It's the National Orphan Fund.
Seriously, Mother Teresa over here.
No, I'm one of the heads of the fundraising department, and we just had our big all-night bingo tournament last night, and I have not slept in 24 hours. But we did raise $20,000. So I was going to deposit the winnings in this bank down the street, but, the after-hours chute was jammed shut, so just killing time until the bank opens. I mean, I love my job. Really, I do. The kids are amazing, but I don't have any excitement in my life either.
It's so easy to fall into a rut. It is.
I know. And then next thing you know, you're 43, living alone with your pet fish. I don't travel. I don't do anything impulsive or, like what you said, something crazy and stupid and fun.
Well, I hate to break this to you, Regina.
Call me Reggie.
Okay, Reggie. You're drinking with a stranger in a hotel bar at 8:30 in the morning. This is crazy and stupid. And a little fun, I think.
As an aside, just remember there, so the shot outside of New York, I presume.
I can tell you about that later on.
Can you? Okay. Is it a place doubling as New York? Because we've got that at this very moment.
No, we're meant to be in Philadelphia. It's New York pretending to be Philadelphia.
Right. So at the moment, the new Tom Holland Spider-Man movie is being shot in Glasgow, which often doubles for New York. My wife and kids were there to see. Well, they said, I didn't want to spoil having their illusions. They went, I seen Tom Holland, and it was like, nah, you seen a guy in this. That'll be a stuntman.
Almost certainly. Or maybe CGI.
Possibly, yes. Anyhow, at this point, Alec receives another envelope and then hesitantly tells her that she came into his life right before he makes is about to make a crazy leap, and then invites her up to his hotel bedroom.
Yes, she's a little bit surprised to learn he has a room at this hotel where he's drinking in the bar in the morning.
Yeah.
Anyway, up at the hotel room, we see her clearly sort of intoxicated by the danger and the drama of the situation, pouring booze into coffee cups.
Yeah, she giggles nervously as she does this in front of the mirror, and as she looks at herself, she tells him that she feels or looks like someone else. This is not what she would normally do. Someone who would go to a stranger's hotel room. He approaches and places his hand on her back as they sort of turn and kiss. Everyone just seems so awkward. There's nothing they're not drunk enough to be having a drunken thing. It's really early in the morning, and it's just It's almost like I was expecting the bit where they kiss and then you've got a Marty McFly and his mother going, no, this isn't right. I can tell here.
Yeah.
It just felt like that.
They are kind of interrupted when she realises that he has a gun.
Yes, it's fortunately that he's not just excited to see her.
No, he's not at all excited to see her. Well, he is, but for other reasons.
But I think this is another thing which makes her nervous but also excites her.
Well, I think that's the idea.
Yeah, he removes it and returns to her for this awkward kiss before she stops and presses him to tell her what he really does and doesn't want any nonsense about the bag containing paperwork. Now, I must admit, at this point, I assumed, and I think maybe we're meant to assume this, that she is a con woman herself. She's doing a double con here, a double bluff, as it were. Very much like...
or a sting of something, maybe.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Because she's asking too many questions. It's not that. If I was him, I'd be thinking, there's something not right here.
She's quite, highly strung. Is that the right phrase? Maybe I'm not sure, but she's certainly buzzing at the whole thing.
She giggles as she asks if he thinks that she's a cop. This is a very dangerous approach.
Yeah.
And she's not the last person in this episode to make a questionable decision.
Well, she doesn't know that he's doing anything to trick her.
No, but she suspects that there's something dodgy going on.
Yes.
So you just be wary. You're up in a stranger's hotel bedroom and you think maybe he's a bit sketchy. Don't be talking about cops and all this type of stuff.
Yeah. She convinces him to tell her the truth about what's going on.
Yeah, I think she kisses him and assures him that he can trust her. So they sit and he talks. So what did he tell her?
He tells her a number of things. I've got like 10 bullet points. So he has a connection from his previous work in the luxury travel industry, who used to have a kingdom that was technically part of Georgia, the country, not the state. Now, that doesn't even make sense if she had any sort of rudimentary grasp of European politics and geography. I'm not sure that's not possible.
I'm not sure the average American does, but
maybe not.
Our listeners obviously do because they're not average Americans, if they're an American at all.
Yes. This connection was deposed and has fled to the United States, where he is stuck with billions of dollars worth of Georgian lari. Is that even the currency of Georgia? I don't know. In cash, which he cannot use, and he can't obviously exchange all at once.
So what happens?
Because he trusts Alex, he uses him as a sort of a money exchange. So a little bit of money at a time. He brings him dollars and gets twice as much back in value of the Georgian money, and then he is able to exchange that small amount at a bank.
However, apparently today he has 400,000 in his satchel, all his savings, and also includes other people's money that he could persuade to join him. Now, I forget.
There's couple of logical questions.
I don't understand this now. I think it's probably this is addressed later on by Charlie in terms of if anyone had to think this through. None of this makes sense.
No.
Even the concept of it doesn't make sense. So we've got this guy in Excel in New York with a load of foreign currency.
Yes.
And he gives it to Alec and doubles his money each transaction.
Yeah.
He wouldn't need to do that. If you are doing it for nothing, if you're getting given this opportunity, if that was me with billions, I would be saying to him, I'll give you 100 grand or 10 grand or 50 grand a time, and I'll give you 10%.
Yeah, like
an exchange. That's what they do. You know, they'll maybe take 2% or 3%. So I'll give you 10%, and it's better than what you would get in exchanges. Yeah.
The big problem that I had here is if he gets $800,000 worth, he's just going to be in the same position the other guy was.
Yeah,
unable to do anything with it. Because that's too much money to take to the bank and say, here's 800 grand in cash.
Yeah. Every time he does this, he doubles his cash. He could just go back the next. He doesn't need anyone else involved in this as well. So these people coming in and hand like his mates, for example, or say I've persuaded some people to.
Well, this also implies that the guy bringing him the money to exchange doesn't know how much there's going to be until he gets there.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense. No. Anyway, he tells her that in 1 hour, this bodyguard is going to come in.
And also, why would these people be doing it so overtly? And they could arrange, if it's people he knows, they would do it somewhere else, like his hideout, and do it on one. This drop off is just looking suspicious, as she is proven.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we know why they're doing it.
We do know, but again, yeah. It's just the whole thing about he now doubles his money every time. It wouldn't take that long, however. It's like, if you got a penny and you double it, it only takes a certain amount of time, you've got $1 million. So each time he does a transaction, so the first time, let's say, he starts with 10k.
Yeah.
He's now got 20k.
Yeah.
The next transaction will be 40k and so on. So it None of it makes sense if you're trying to con someone.
And the other thing is, if he's got $400,000 in cash, that's wealthy enough. Why didn't you double it?
Right, because you want to. Because
I mean, that's just greed.
yes. But you don't need to do it every time. If you've got 400 grand, so maybe you can't. A bank will not have and will not hand over. Like, they won't have that much liquidity.
Yeah.
But still, that's the same situation here. So you have to get in it every day and do 5 and 10k.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, so he tells her at this point that in 1 hour, the bodyguard is going to come in and make him very rich, which excites her.
Visually, it does, you can tell. And she admits as much before asking to see the money and shrieks when she sees it's real. Again, I'm definitely thinking she is a con woman here, or the episode is going to take a turn and she will kill and rob him.
Well, potentially. She tells him she wants to have sex on the money, but he tells her that would not be as fun as it sounds.
Yeah, I think it's like Sex on the Beach, isn't it? It sounds all romantic and all that, but it's actually just uncomfortable.
Itchy for some time.
Chafing.
He suggests instead that she leaves at this point.
Yes, she should go back to her real mundane life. Instead, however, she opens her bag and offers him the charity money, which she wants to double for the orphans.
So she says. However, at this point they are surprised.
By what?
A knock at the door.
The bodyguard is early. He reminds her that she's a normal, safe person and to hide in the bathroom with her money while he goes to answer the door. But she doesn't do that.
No, while he's at the door, she pulls out her money to add to the bag, which gives me another question, which I'm going to ask in a second. And as soon as the door is opened, the bodyguard shoots Alex.
Before looking for her after she lets out a scream. But she's taken Alex's gun,
Yes.
which she's left when he was getting romantic, he put in the table.
Yeah.
And in turn, she kills the bodyguard before grabbing the bag and making a run for it after leaving the weapon under Alex's hand on his chest. I've got a lot of questions here.
Yes, so there's a number of different things that we need to bring up. First of all, when we find out what actually happened, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit in with his... He didn't have an opportunity to do what he says he did.
To switch the... Okay, right.
Because he gets shot while she still hasn't put her money in the bag yet. He's gone to the door. Anyway, at this point, I think what you're meant to think is...
she's still... At one point, she's hiding, isn't she? So he's shot and then she's hiding for about 10 seconds during that.
So you think, well, he's meant to be dead on the floor and he's then done the bag switch?
Well, he's assuming that she'll be just cowering in a corner somewhere.
Yeah.
So maybe... Well, it's a possibility. Unlikely, but there's an opportunity.
Okay. I think we're meant to assume at this point that this is the story. She's murdered Manny. When he's
not murdered, killed. And she's feared of her life, yeah.
Yes, and is run off with the money. And that is what we're going to hear about next as we go back in time.
No, I've got major problems here.
Yeah, okay.
She must know that the hotel will have security guards. It looked like quite a upmarket hotel. It wasn't like a dive.
Yeah.
They'll have guards, security themselves. But even if they don't, all hotels have got CCTV on every floor.
Yep.
And their main reception and entrances. So there's no way. And then she just places the gun without wiping it down. Her prints will be all over that.
Yep.
Again,
and also she was in a really weird position relative to his hand.
Yeah, I mean, at least try, wipe it down and put his finger on the, make sure, rub it into the trigger, etc. Why is there no security rushing up here? There's been 2 shots fired. And no one seems to have heard it. They're scared. The cops should be all over this place just now.
Crawling.
Other guests should be screaming and running out, or at least out in the hall looking to see what's going on.
Yeah, you would think. But they're not.
They're not, no.
And we head, we presume, back in time to find out how Charlie is involved in all this.
Well, there's a time jump, but maybe not, in the usual direction. She's on the same street, we think, at 8:15. Entering the bar the same bar, the hotel bar, and ordering a beer and a breakfast with some coupons, as we heard at the top of the podcast.
Spotting Alex sitting at the far end of the bar, she noisily drags her bar stool.
Like nails down a chalkboard, as they say.
And I assume on purpose?
Yeah, I think she doesn't mind. She
doesn't care.
Doesn't care, yeah. She drags this noisy stool around, sits beside him, and sparks up a conversation.
How you doing? Morning.
Love another breakfast connoisseur.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what it is? I think I just like eating anything that I know could be fertilized.
Pretty good deal, too.
Oh, yes, and, well, I got mine for free. See, I do this thing where I collect coupons from various hotels for free breakfast. And, well, you can get them everywhere. Yeah. Different cities, different hotels. And you can use them anywhere, because people, well, they hardly check them. So I got these eggs from a hotel in Beaverton, Oregon. Okay? Well, I know what I'm doing at a bar at 8:30 in the morning. I'm bored, and I got this sweeping albatross to offload. You don't need to know about my life. What about you? What are you doing here? I'm Charlie, by the way.
Alec.
Bullshit. Sorry to say, nom de plume, nom de guerre, nom de none of my business, so go ahead.
Weirdly, it's kind of a hybrid business pleasure type thing. Staying at the hotel from out of town for a work engagement.
Bullshit.
But no, it's not bullshit. I work with very private, luxury clients who need privacy.
Bullshit. Man, I really just don't know that I've heard this much bullshit this early in the morning.
Now, ma'am.
Ma'am. Blech.
Okay, miss.
Miss, maybe worse.
Look, lady. I'm sorry, but you start talking to me, and suddenly you're yelling bullshit in my face. Look, I don't need this. I'm stressed enough today, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Interesting antagonism there from Charlie. I don't understand.
Provocation, yeah.
Yeah, why someone at the bar who you're chatting to, he's under no obligation, and he maybe just thinks, you know what, it's a stranger who's drinking at the bar, probably not a type of person I want to really divulge any information. I'll just give it small talk, which is often
she does
nonsense.
start by that by saying something about business, and then
But why does she? He's allowed to just tell lies, and you should understand that it's because he doesn't know you, and he's going to give you some
line.
Either
he's trying to flirt with you or something.
You're the one that pulled the seat up.
Yeah.
So I just think it's an odd one for her to call it out for no reason. Like, just accept that people will lie to you because it's just easy some of the time. It's strangers, small talk, Anyhow.
After this exchange, we hear Alec ask her what on earth is going on.
Well, yeah, I think he says that the biggest deal of his life is about to go down. She can't help call BS again. And quietly asks why he's lying to a stranger in a quiet bar. But then tells him to forget it and goes back to her eggs. And I think then she's answered her question here. It's a stranger in a bar. I'll tell you anything.
He is thrown by her calling him out on all of his lies and asks if this is the weirdest bust of all time.
Because of topicality at the moment, I was expecting some sort of Frank Drebin response. Oh, your bust is absolutely fine. It's just a really weird bust.
What's wrong with it?
Yeah. She responds by revealing her unique skill, which piques his interest. And so he introduces himself as Guy, a con man. And she gives her name and accepts that this time he is being truthful.
Yes, so we head to the gang's secret hideout at the pool hall.
Yes, so we've got to refer to him as Guy from now on.
Yes, he brings Charlie to introduce her to his squad, as it were, and she gets some truths and lies challenges right.
Yeah. He stands and yells in excitement at the potential she has for him, but is sure that he can beat her, as he thinks that she is just really good at picking up on tells like blushing and twitches, etc.
She thinks that a guy who could suppress his tells would be amazing in bed. Not sure if he's being sarcastic there.
I think she's being very sarcastic, yeah.
But reckons that only the world's greatest sociopath could trick her. One to tuck away there.
Yes. And I think he accepts this as a challenge.
Yes. The next person to introduce themselves is Manny the Muscle. But there's clearly friction between him and Guy.
Yeah, he played the bodyguard.
Yes. We saw him at the start. Yes, he's the one that came in and shot Alec.
Now, he seems a nice... He's one that's a big, gentle giant type, isn't he?
Yes.
It's a stereotype of the massive guy who's very pleasant. But as you say, yes, and on a number of occasions, Guy belittles and humiliates him.
And only him.
Yes.
The next one up is the accountant, Gene, like in the Ben Affleck movie, but not Good Will Hunting.
No, the accountant. So we should say, Manny introduces himself as a consigliere, or a heavy, and the person who deals with snacks. But Guy snaps back that he can be the consigliere when he can spell it, and he's merely the muscle.
Yeah.
This other guy, yeah. Is it Gene, did you say?
Gene, he's the accountant. And then you've got David, who went to Juilliard and does their character work.
Which I think is perfectly reasonable. It's all about acting and being able to put this performance on.
And there's a few others, including a girl called Cliff who takes the minutes.
See, that's the thing. In this show, there is someone called Cliff already.
Yes, and I can't think of a girl's name that would be shortened to Cliff.
I have never heard of any female called Cliff in my life. It's the first time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maybe it's a nickname.
Could be, yeah. She's quite timid, but does appreciate Charlie telling her that she has a cool vest. Charlie then asks about modern day cons and assumes it'll be all crypto or ID theft, but is told by Guy that they're old school, and again belittles Manny when he chants, old school shit, old school shit.
So she wants to know a bit more about how they operate.
And Guy reveals that they're using the Sleazy Georgian and proceeds to explain to her how it works.
Okay. First contact is very important. You want the mark to think that they engaged you. It's like forcing a card. Then you set the hook. In this con, the story is about a despot from Georgia. The country, not the state, who uses me as a money exchange.
Whoa. I mean, that is like a bad email scam. Who even buys this shit?
They don't buy it if you're selling it. But if you're hiding it, if you make them earn your trust, earn your confidence to get to it.
Curiosity and cats.
Yes. You give them a deadline. The Georgian is coming in an hour. This is the last exchange I'm ever gonna do. Are you in or you out?
So the mark has an hour to get to an ATM and come back with as much cash as they can get. It's called putting them on the sand.
Right, but you can't keep them hooked once they leave, though. I mean, surely they come to their senses and then they're not coming back.
They always come back. These are not good people, Charlie. Their greed always trumps their caution or their morality.
That's where I come in. I show up as the Georgian despot's muscle, right? Now I have a gun.
Shut the fuck up, Manny. Yeah, so Manny shows up as the Georgian despot's muscle. I'm squibbed up. He shoots me. They get the fuck out. They feel lucky to have escaped with their lives. It's the big blow up. And that's it. The Sleazy Georgian.
Okay, so at this point, the assumption we have is that it went wrong.
Yeah.
Or it's about to go wrong, and Reggie's going to kill Manny.
Also, am I missing something here? This seems very chancy in terms of the con going off properly. They've got to rely on the mark, in this case, Regina, to go out of her way to put the money into the satchel of her own accord.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people would do that.
Well, I think she was different because she had the money already. They're in the way they tell it, most would go and get money.
Yeah.
So I think they've gone and got money and brought it back.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So after his explanation, Charlie impresses him by asking what happens if the mark decides to inspect the cash before adding it to the satchel.
Yeah, he explains that at the top of the bag is the take from the previous job, which shows their business model.
Yes.
They keep folk locked into the group by not paying them until one job after.
Manny again interrupts, this time to praise the plan and claim it's great job security, no one can quit, but is immediately contradicted.
Yes, Cliff is leaving for her dream job in March.
What's that?
I think at NBC or ABC?
Page at NBC. Charlie then asks about the danger. The guy shows her his gun, but assures her it only has blanks before reminding them of the 3 rules.
Yes, number 1, you never overreach.
2,
you always let the mark lead.
and finally,
you bail if the mark shows you even one red flag.
Seems sensible enough.
It does if you follow them.
Later on, Guy is in another part. He's either away or at another part of the bar, and Charlie is having a great time with Manny, listening to stories about the old cons and using face swap apps.
Yes, Guy arrives and notices this, and that he is furious at Manny.
Why?
Because he's used a third-party app to take a picture that includes their prop table on which is evidence of their previous crimes.
He tells them they're not there to have fun and tosses his phone to the floor. Again, humiliates him. Yes. He has to scrabble around and pick it up as he walks off. So at this point, Charlie sits with Manny.
Well, but just before that, Jean tells Cliff not to put it in the minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
And yes, Charlie sits with Manny and explains to him that he does not deserve to be treated that way. And Manny explains that he and Guy are not personal friends, and Guy's not even met Robin, his partner.
But this is because, Charlie says you could go. You don't need him. You can do this. You know the cons. Why don't you do it yourself? And he says, no, I mean, we're not. Let's just say we're not pals as such. But he's a mentor. He would not double cross me, and therefore I will afford him the same respect.
Indeed. Time again passes, and Charlie is about to leave, but wants to take a memento with her.
Okay, yeah, but sorry. Before there's one bit of missed here.
Okay.
After he says, no, I'm not going to do this, she leaves it. He doesn't push him. She refers back to Robin. And then she says she had sort of had someone recently. And I thought to myself, did you really? You get pumped in a supermarket show bed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if you did have someone, and they were murdered within a few hours.
Oh, it's a night out of her car. She enjoyed it. So yeah, like I say, a wee bit later on.
No.
You want to say another thing?
Yeah, and we see the start of the pool table from the start of the episode.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah. So how does Charlie and what does she leave with?
She starts by picking up something from their keep pile and is told she cannot have that. They need it for a future job, but instead picks up a bag that looks a lot like Reggie's, which plays with our understanding of the timeline. Also, the fact that Guy said a moment ago his gun only has blanks in it. So
Yes.
we're starting to think, hang on, things maybe aren't the way we think.
At the door, Guy stops her, and she agrees with him that she is intrigued with the romantic notion of the big con, but at the end of the day, they appear to be stealing from honest people.
He says you cannot steal from honest people. This is a lie that con people tell themselves. He says that the Marks are all criminals who would kill and steal for the money in his satchel.
And so she seems convinced with this that he's essentially the Dexter of con men, and tentatively agrees to meet up with them in the morning. So do you think Charlie Evans is she's a very smart person.
Yeah.
She's not easily conned herself, but this seems as if she's too easily been persuaded by this guy.
Well, we don't know how she thinks because the next time she sees him, things are a bit different.
Why?
So she steps outside at this point and puts this bag over her head, and the deposit slip comes fluttering out.
For the 20k of orphan fund money.
Yes, and by the time she returns the next day, she's looked up Reggie's story in the local paper. So we now know that we're not on our usual timeline.
Yes. Now, this is probably the angriest we've seen Charlie.
She's furious. She wants Guy to explain to her who steals from orphans.
Yeah, I mean, she walks in, she storms, she shouts, I want an effing word with you. She pulls out this deposit slip and reveals, yes, it was from a charity bingo night.
Yes. He explains that that's just what they do.
But yeah, I think that's the thing. She's hoping for a sign of guilt or at least denial.
Yeah.
And is disappointed as he calmly tells her, yeah, this is what we're into.
This is the game.
Yeah.
She tells him that Reggie worked for this charity, collected the money at the bingo night, and has thrown herself off a bridge 3 days earlier.
Yeah, due to the loss of this money.
We get a brief glimpse
And
of
we should say he's unmoved here. Yeah,
he doesn't care.
Yeah.
We get a brief glimpse of this news report from the Philly Gazette, which says she died on the 9th of December 2025, which is in the future for us right now, but that means this episode is set on the 12th of December 2025, or this part of it is.
Guy proceeds to victim blame and says that it was her own fault for gambling the money, as the thrill of it was getting her off, and she ignored every red flag, including the gun, a satchel of cash, and was essentially blinded by greed.
Yes, he says that with two men dead at her feet, she stole what she believed was $400,000 and doubts any of it was going to the orphans.
What do you think? What do we think? If she has that 400, at minimum, she's giving I think she's doubling it. She's got to give 40k to it.
Certainly minimum 20. She's not stealing from the orphans.
No.
So they're getting at least what they should have had.
I think she might think to herself, do you know what, I'll give them 100k and I'll keep 300 for myself. And I think that would be fair.
But then would she have to explain that?
To who?
To the orphans.
Yeah, but she could do an anonymous donation.
Yeah, could do. Yeah, so separately, so put in her 20,000 normally and then later on donate. Yeah, could do that. He doesn't feel bad about taking her money at all and says the consequences are all on her. But Charlie does not buy this.
No, but I mean, we see that moment in the car. We get a sort of flashback or whatever it is to Regina opening up the bag after taking it from the room and seeing it's full of paper.
Yes. Charlie says that taking advantage of someone at a low point in their life is shitty.
Yes, and then gives him an ultimatum.
Yes, return this $20,000 to the charity or she will report him to the police.
I hinted at this earlier on. This is an idiotic threat to make in this bar. You have someone here you now know as a criminal, a wrong'un, and even if he's not to this point a murderer, she doesn't know that.
Nope.
For that type of money and the jail time that he would be potentially probably facing if caught.
Yep.
You're asking to be murdered yourself here. This is just an appallingly...
But she's been doing this from the start of season 1.
Yeah.
She just goes and questions folk who she knows are dangerous.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
They're interrupted by Manny at this point, who says there's a juicy mark at the hotel.
And so Guy offers her a deal. Help with this con, and he will give her 20k and she can do with that as she wishes.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. You're saying she's gambling here, but this is part of her con.
No, she's threatening someone in the bar. How's that part of that's still a risk?
This is still her hooking him on the fact that she feels the way that, so she needs him to believe that she's pissed off at him. At this stage, so that's part of that. She's not actually...
Even though she's acting, he doesn't know that she's acting. Yeah. So he's still been threatened by someone.
Yeah, but she knows that she's got Manny on side and everybody else
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe, but it's still, he could just say, is that right? And then, pull a gun, do whatever. I don't know.
Maybe. Guy tells her at this stage that the police might catch him and they might not, but she won't see any of that money if they do.
And then Manny finally apparently persuades her when he confirms that the mark himself is sketchy as F. And so we catch up with him in the hotel bar after the initial trap has been laid.
You go to the bank, exchange it for US dollars, clean and easy. Hey, I'm sorry, this is probably freaking you out a little bit, huh?
No. This is some real deal shit right here. Hey, do you,
May I?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Do you think your Georgian friend would be cool with me throwing into the pot?
Don't take this the wrong way. I don't know if it would work. You'd have to get the money in the next hour. He's coming really soon. He's very punctual. You know Georgians.
Oh, yes. Well, that is a known stereotype about Georgians.
I could get the money, no problem. Yeah, I have access to a ton of cash from the poker game. No one will notice it's missing for hours, and by then I just replace what I took. I can probably get you $400. I mean, I have a gambling problem, so no one suspects me when I act weird, you know?
You can get $400,000? Seriously? I don't know, sweetheart. What do you think? Should we cut him in?
Are you out of your fucking mind, sweetie?
She's got good sense. I like her.
She does. Luckily for you, Sketch, I still wear the pants. So meet us in room 703 before the next exchange in 1 hour.
You got it, Hefe.
Before Sketch leaves the bar, Charlie gives him a hug.
It's a weird thing to do.
It is. And then Guy also gives him a sort of a weird embrace type handshake and whispers in his ear that the exchange is happening in an hour, whether he's back or not.
Now, when Sketch leaves, an excited Guy this doesn't make sense, tells Manny, who's sitting in the bar. So how can he be the muscle in this con if you're right there with him? He'll recognise him.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
No. Anyway, he tells him that the mark is indeed juicy and ignores Charlie's opinion that they need to pull the plug, as he clearly works for a local mob and is twitchy as F, and his name's actually Sketch. So that's red flags.
Yes, but Guy says that red flags don't matter if there's 400 grand to be stolen.
Yeah, I can understand that, yeah. And Manny, he has to side with his boss, as he always does.
Of course. Charlie, however, tells Guy it doesn't matter because he's not coming back.
Yes, when she hugged him, she slipped a warning note into his pocket about the con, and she thinks that has settled it. However, there's a twist.
There is. Guy has spotted this and retrieved the note during his own awkward embrace.
So she finds herself with Guy in the hotel room, and he tells her to hide in the bathroom when Manny makes his appearance, and it's all going to be over very quickly.
She's worried if this is a switcheroo of some kind and she's the actual mark, but he wants to know what it is they'd actually be stealing from her.
Yes, and accepts that being conned out of her pride doesn't make any sense.
No.
That was like sort of when you talked about losing her...
Yes, her chastity.
Yeah. Yes.
She wants to leave at this point, but Guy tells her that might spook Sketch.
Yes, he's taking a bit of a shine to her. And then, I think he probably tests her. Guy, he says, I trust you, which she calls BS, and he nods his approval.
We see Manny outside the hotel starting his walk up to the room.
Yeah, he watches as Sketch enters and he follows after him. So back in the room, we see Sketch arrive. He rips off the money which has been taped to his body.
Yes.
It's quite a painful experience. And Guy can barely conceal his greed as he places it in the satchel.
Yes. At this point, Charlie spots that Sketch has a gun of his own and asks Guy to call it off and to tell him the truth.
Yeah, things start to go wrong at this point. I mean, Sketch says, well, I'm a gambling addict and I'm involved. Of course I've got a gun.
Yeah.
But yes, it's obvious that things are going to take a turn here. So we cut to Manny making his way up in the elevator, whilst Charlie pleads with Guy to tell the truth.
Yep.
Guy refuses, and so Charlie takes it into her own hands.
Yep, she tries to tell Sketch it's all a con and he needs to walk away.
You can see he's getting agitated and obviously nervous. It's not the type of thing you want to happen to a guy with a gun.
No.
So when Manny walks in with his own gun out, Charlie screams and Sketch does what?
He shoots Manny dead.
Right in the chest, yeah. Charlie jumps at Sketch and they wrestle until a shot goes off. And after a brief pause, we see that Sketch is dead. And Guy, when she turns, has scampered.
Yes. So we then...
Well, scampered out of the window with the cash.
Yes, she runs over to the window and is amazed. Down at the pool hall, Guy shows up.
Yeah, he's the callous guy excitedly tells the other members that Christmas has come early and dismisses Manny's demise as nothing more than collateral damage.
Well, he says it sucks. That's it.
Yeah.
There is bad news. They have to clear out and blow town fast. And on the other hand, they have 400 grand to do it with.
Which he empties onto the pool table, but is in for a surprise.
It's breakfast coupons from various hotels. And
this doesn't impress the crew.
No, Jean turns on him as we hear the cops show up. And I wondered earlier what they're going to arrest him for, but of course the prop table they talked about already has got all the evidence from their previous crimes on it.
Yes. Yeah. Jean, I think, pushes his head down onto the pool table as he realises he's been, outconned, and he mutters Charlie's name.
Meanwhile, back at the hotel room, we get the other end of this.
Yeah, Charlie's disappointment is not in being conned or losing the cash, but that the cold-hearted guy really did steal the cash and leave his friend for dead.
Yes, just like Manny said he would.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom, as both Manny and Sketch stand up and they kiss.
Yes, it turns out the Sketch is Manny's husband, Robin.
Yeah, they're part of this new con. And Manny insists that she take the 20k herself and give it to the orphans.
Yes, he wants to keep doing cons, but doesn't want to hurt anyone again like Reggie was hurt.
Yep.
So next we see Charlie going to the bank, and she also initially has trouble with the deposit box, but gets it to work, puts the satchel, presumably containing 20 grand and the deposit note in it, and that is the end of the episode.
Very fun, amusing, entertaining.
Yeah. Do you think this helps Charlie move on from Bill? Who cares?
Bill? Yeah.
Bill who?
Exactly.
I think a noteworthy takeaway from this one is that even these professional con artists can't lie to Charlie, even though that's all they do.
Yes.
Any other thoughts?
Not really.
It was fun.
It was fun, yeah.
The director this week was Mimi Cave, who's best known for the horror movie Fresh that she directed in 2022. She also came in to direct the Amazon Prime movie Holland with Nicole Kidman and Matthew McFadden. I don't think that was very well received, though. The episode was written by someone that people might have heard about, Megan Amram. She previously wrote for the Oscars, as well as shows like Parks and Rec, The Good Place, Silicon Valley, and The Simpsons. She was nominated for an Emmy in one of the most meta examples of this ever, for playing a version of herself in An Emmy for Megan.
Fair enough.
Reggie, as you mentioned earlier, was played by Melanie Linsky. This is the con victim, obviously. She's a familiar face to current TV audiences. She's been in big shows recently like Yellow Jackets, The Last of Us, and The Tattooist of Auschwitz, as well as previously things like Coyote Ugly, Heavenly Creatures, But I'm a Cheerleader with Natasha Lyonne, Sweet Home Alabama, 2.5 Men.
That's the only place I've seen her, and yeah, she was a...
Yeah. Togetherness, many more. Her husband is Matlock star Jason Ritter, but we'll say more about him in the future. Hint, hint.
Well, okay.
Wink, wink.
Right.
Guy was played by John Cho. To me, he's best known for playing Sulu in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films. He's also been in things like American Pie with Natasha Lyonne, Harold and Kumar, Twilight Zone, the new one, The Exorcist TV show, and the Sleepy Hollow TV show. He's also the singer in a band called Viva la Union, or Union, probably Union. Sketch/Robin was played by Brendan Sexton. He appeared with Natasha Lyonne in Russian Doll. You might also have seen him in things like 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, The Killing, Black Hawk Down, or El Camino, that was a Breaking Bad spin-off. He runs an indie record label called Big Bit of Beauty, and his father, who's also called Brendan, was the Sanitation Commissioner of New York City.
That's good.
Manny was played by Joel Marsh Garland. He was a long-time colleague of Natasha Lyonne's on Orange is the New Black, not that this episode is too incestuous, but he's also been in things like Birdman, Fallout, Elsbeth, and The West Wing, and he's the lead singer in a band called The Atomic Grind Show. Gene was played by the rapper Gata, who is best known for playing a version of himself in the show Dave. He's also the hype man for Lil Dicky.
What?
Does that mean anything to you?
Nope.
Don't mean either.
I don't know what that sentence means.
Moving on. Locations, I talked about this briefly earlier on. Although the episode was set in Philadelphia, it was filmed in New York. The hotel was the Evelyn on East 27th Street. The hideout was a spot further up that street. And the picturesque sort of street view that we saw was West Broadway, about a mile and a half from the hotel. So a fairly compact production area. The big inspiration for this episode was David Mamet's films The Spanish Prisoner and House of Games. But other people have noted about, you mentioned Sting, also The Grifters and Death Trap are other films that people have said are similar in theme. In terms of the episode title, obviously it was the name of their con. I can't find it as a specific reference to anything else. Maybe if it is, someone can send a postcard to the usual address. Music, as you mentioned, opened with Seasons Come, Seasons Go by Bobby Gentry, and the outro was a jazz version of Charlie's theme. In terms of people who did crimes, the whole con gang did crimes. Arguably, Regina did a crime when she walked out with the money and shot the guy. Will they get away with it? She will not get away with it. She is dead, or maybe you could say she did get away with it. They may or may not get away with it. Manny certainly will.
For now.
Next week, unless you've got anything else to say.
Nope.
Charlie moves into the big city and makes friends with her neighbours in a new lease on death.
Okay, until then,
cheerio.
Bye-bye.